All right, also Friday night, another good game. Fox, 5 o'clock Pacific, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, Utah and Washington, both teams 9-3. Washington is 5-45 the total. Where are the points coming from in this one? I'll start with Utah. They finally win the Pac-12 South. First trip to the Pac-12 title game, but they do it without Huntley and they do it without Moss. Great job by Whittingham. They went 3-1 with a backup quarterback and without their running back. They won the Holy War, come from behind. They held off Oregon at home, and they also went to Colorado and won in the snow as well. So great coaching job, and a pleasant surprise here is Utah with all the injuries. And also, it's a rematch. They lost 21-7 at home earlier in the season to Washington.
Sure, but I mean, when you compare the Utah team now compared to what we saw back in this game, that was a September game. Number one, the Utes are playing with a lot more confidence. Number two, they're playing with backups at all their skill positions. You know, Moss, big injury. Hundley, big injury. Now, Shelley has come in and played well for the Utes, but make no mistake about it. He's a backup quarterback going up against one of the true elite defenses in college football. We saw Washington shut this team down already on Utah's home field with the Utes starting quarterback and with Moss at running back. Now, coming off that, and it wasn't the season that the Huskies were hoping for. It wasn't the season that Chris Peterson were hoping for. They were not a good point spread team. They suffered a handful of losses. The offense never really clicked the way that we thought it was going to. And maybe the weather helped last week in Washington. Maybe the matchups helped last week in Washington. But the defense for the Huskies has been good enough to carry them throughout, despite the offensive struggles, despite the issues moving the football for extended stretches, sometimes against mediocre defenses. The defense has been good enough week after week to give the Huskies a chance to win, much like it does here. But, of course, when you talk about covering -5, Pauly, they got to win by margin against a Utah team that plays pretty good defense themselves.
Yeah, surprised by the move. Open 3, bet up to 5. Also, you're reading some of the quotes in the AD at Utah, how much it means to this program. It's gigantic, he said, both off the rivalry games. And you're right. So it's uncharted waters here for Utah. Washington's used to this. Well, Washington had a disappointing season. You watch them play, you say, how the hell did you lose 3 games? They also were preseason top 10. They had the issues in the red zone with two fumbles inside the 5 in the Auburn game. They lost to Cal, and they blew the Oregon game where the kid missed a field goal. Great defense, but you mentioned 3-9 against the spread this year. An ATS disaster with a ton of unders. I like under. I don't see where the points are coming from, but you're right. They couldn't cover a damn thing this year.
It's worth noting when it comes to postseason football, there are a lot of strong bet-on trends for the bad ATS teams, particularly when it comes to bowl games. There isn't a bowl game yet, but I'll tell you what. Teams that finish 25% ATS, 3-9 ATS or worse in the regular season, they're real money makers when it comes to December college football, year in, year out. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.